The angels bow down after thought of you. The darkness is light to the light for you. The price that you pay gives life brand new. Hosanna forever, we worship you. Hosanna forever, we worship you. The angels bow down after thought of you. The darkness is light to the light for you. The price that you pay gives life. We worship you. For you are the joy of my soul. My joy. Every slave for the sin and the one I adore. Be your peace. We worship. You are the joy. Give him praise forever. It's the halftime for me, yo. That's right. Hey. Give him praise and ever. Praise his name. Who's arranging this outfit? What's up, Isaac? We need Come on, let's bear this little number this morning. Y'all come on in. Welcome to Good News Today. Hey. All good. I'm glad you're good, mother-in-law. morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good news today. Welcome, Hosanna forever. Yo, I'm rocking that all week. It's such a blessing. What choir is that? That is the Fellowship Worship Collective. That's who that is. Fellowship Worship Collective. There's a miracle in this room with my name on. Come on now. That was a mistake though. Anyway, yo. Oh, she come back. She like, oh, don't X me out too quickly. I got a word. There's a healing in this room. Yo, as the worship collective. Good morning, y'all. Hey, kapayow. Come on in here, somebody. Oh my goodness. Yo, got a word for you today. So we gonna jump in. First of all, let me just let you know everything's gonna be okay. Get encouraged. Let's go. Welcome. Come on. Everything's gonna be okay. God is working out for your good. Hey. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And whosoever will believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Yo, turn my mic up. Y'all ain't see this coming. Get ready to catch this. Come to snatch your righteous mind, not your edges. God is the goal, and then there's the period. This thing is real. Woo-cha, we serious, intentional, original. God is in control. Do it for your soul. Gotta let the whole world know. Hey yo, hey yo. Everything's gonna be okay. Whoa, everything's gonna be okay. Good news. Everything's gonna be okay. Let the people say, God's gonna make a way. Everything's gonna be okay. Extra energy in that coffee this morning. Yes, I got a little coffee in here, got a little bourbon in here. I'm just working it out for the glory of God. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. There's no coffee in here. Yo, good morning, y'all. Good morning, Erik. You know, relax. Those are jokes. Yo, so good to see everybody. We're in Holy Week. And I want to talk about your friends. I want to talk about your friends. Yo, check this out. Jesus, when he got ready to go to the cross, you can just see some dynamics with his friends that I think are worthy of note, that I think we should pay attention to. He leaves and he heads to the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus, throughout the Gospels, you pick up that it is clear that homeboy is stressed out. So you got the creator of the world, but he's also fully human. He's fully divine and marked fully with humanity. So the stress of his humanity is showing up so much so that he develops a medical condition that causes him to literally sweat blood. He's sweating blood. And in this moment, he brings his boys, I believe it's Peter, James, and John. He brings the crew, the homies, the ones that were closest to him, to this sacred moment. We find it in the book of Matthew 26, 39, 41. Matthew 26, 39, 41. Listen to this. This is what it says. Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground. Now, let me tell you something. You know you stressed and you heavy when your face is on the ground. Y'all ever been in them places where you just lay prostrate? You just lay prostrate before the Lord Almighty God. Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, get me out of this. May this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Then check this out. Then he returned to his fellows, to his boys, and to his disciples, and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked Peter. Y'all, watch and pray, he says, so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And he had just warned Peter. He had just said in the book of Luke, before they go in there, he just said, yo, Satan desires to sift you as wheat. Satan is coming after you, bro. Get it together. Jesus has got beef with his boys. Jesus has got tension. There's tension in the dynamic because one, here's a word for you, expectation. They had missed expectation. Expectation. Jesus was expecting his friends to be praying with him, to be covering him in this sacred moment. I need you to stand with me and be there with me. I think if we're honest about our Christian journey, and personally, to be honest, as a Christian leader and navigating just leadership, period, there are moments when you expect your friends to be there for you and they're not. And I think we just need to create space to keep it real and just say, yo, there are moments and times when you're going through something and you expected your diehard ride or die to be there and you weren't. And there are moments when you find yourself standing alone. When you find yourself standing alone. You look around and you say, no one really understands me. No one gets me. No one. The folks that I thought I had shown them enough. I thought I had opened up my chest enough to them. I had opened up my heart. I had opened up my soul. I bared enough to them that they should know. I told them I was going to die. And they saw how stressed I was. They should know that I need them in this moment. And in a moment when I am over here wrestling through my assignment, my closest friends are sleeping on me. They're sleeping. Ever had missed expectations with your friends? You expected them to be there, and they expected to sleep. I just think it's important to talk about the humanity of that relationship. In that even Jesus in his relationship, they had these mixed, missed expectations. And Jesus is pissed because he goes out and calls them out and he says, yo, y'all couldn't pray with me for an hour, bro. You couldn't get down. You couldn't cover me for an hour. I'm over here struggling in the deepest parts of my humanity and you couldn't hold me down for an hour. I just think it's important to acknowledge that Jesus, that ain't go right. And there was tension in their relationships. I mean, real talk. Jesus like, I'm about to give my life for y'all, and y'all can't give me an hour of prayer. There are times when, man, to be honest,
there are times, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, that's good, Julie. Because sometimes this is a current issue. I was dealing with somebody at our church that she's very frustrated by how people aren't showing up for her. But she really has a unique gift of showing up for people in a way that's just significant. That's just, and she's frustrated because people aren't showing up for her. And it's like, yo, you expecting people to show up for you the way you show up for other people, and it don't work like that. And I get it. Even Jesus had missed expectations on his friends. Even Jesus has missed expectations on his friends. So check this out though. Let's go another further with the text. Devon, I didn't give you this, but let's just look at the rest of Matthew. Let's see, what was it? Was it Matthew 23? Oh, 26. Okay. Let's look at the rest of 26. Check this out. Put it back up, Devon. 26:39. Check this out. Verse 40, then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. Couldn't you men pray with me for an hour? Watch, he asked. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away a second time and prayed. And then verse 43, when he came back, he again found them sleeping, but because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed a third time, saying the same thing. Then watch this, verse 45. He returned to the disciples and said to them, are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer. I think that's so important. I think that's so important. Jesus realizes my assignment is not conditioned on their awakenness. My assignment is not conditioned on their awakenness. And you can tell Jesus goes from a missed expectation to he gets a revelation. He gets a revelation. Here's a revelation, and here's what I've had to find out and discover on a personal level. On a personal level. I was complaining just the other day. I was complaining. Every now and then I have my own little personal pity party. I usually don't invite people. I have the party by myself. Because if you have one, if you invite me, I'm not trying to come to yours. So I'm not trying to make everybody come to mine. But I have them. I have them every now and then I invite my wife. And then she calls a cab and leaves the party early. Because she's like, I can't stay in here. I was having a pity party because leadership, and there are moments that are just really lonely and you just feel unseen. You just feel unseen. Just feel unseen. I really laid it on thick with my wife. I just said, babe, I feel unseen. I feel unseen. And can we just go here? Can we just go here? Can we just go? I'm just going to go all the way there. A part of our conversation was sometimes I don't even feel seen by you. My spouse. And here's the reality. There are many times when she doesn't feel seen by me. And I think the point is people that are closest to you, sometimes you feel like they don't see you. Sometimes you feel missed. Can I just put that out there? Can I just tell the truth? Can we just be real? So I'm sitting here having a pity party and saying, babe, I don't see seen by other people and I'm not feeling seen by you. Ouch. But I could say that because there's not an indictment on her, because she could say this, child, she could probably say the same thing about me twice a week, 3 times a week. But it was about me knowing that I'm in a place, and the reality is I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared, that there's a sense of anxiety, and I'm in that place. I'm in that place. And she may not even know that I'm even in that place because I ain't even said all that out loud. So I'm expecting her to see me and to see stuff that I hadn't even showed her. So I know why we're giving the disciples a hard time. The reality is, although Jesus had said those things, they so used to Jesus going away and praying and them sleeping, they didn't think that tonight was no different. Jesus, we tired, you go over there, do your thing, and we just gonna take a nap. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in my pity party and in my frustration, in me having expectations on people in my life and them not showing up for me, Jesus had to pull me in a room and say, hey, there's some places that I will meet you in where other folks can't come. I needed them sleep so they could stay out my way, because I'm preparing you for something that's going to change the world. And I don't need you distracted by your friends in this moment. I need you captivated by your God in this moment. So yeah, I put them to sleep. Now, I wish I had a witness up in here, and if you anywhere close to a pen, you ought to just write that down. There are places where God will bring you where you can't have guests. And as ride or die as your friends are, there's some places where they can't stand with you. You got to stand alone in the presence of God. Because sometimes I'm going to do stuff in you that's going to shift you so significantly and so impactfully. I don't even want to run the risk of your friends giving you a bad interpretation of what your God is doing. Sometimes I'm going to bring you in my presence and I'm going to give you the interpretation myself. So yeah, you expected them to be there, but you need to get the revelation. I'm here, and there are moments when I'm doing something greater than them. And because of your fear and because of your uncertainty and because of your insecurity and because of your crisis, you will be unhealthily dependent upon them in this season and not be dependent upon me in this season, and miss what I'm doing for you because you're trying to get your friends to hold you together because you scared. The stakes got higher. Things got harder, and you're freaking out, and you want your friends, and that's true. And most of the time, that strategy works. But sometimes I'm going to put friends to sleep. They're not going to text you back. They're not going to know what to say. They're going to think about themselves and not think about you. And you're going to be out there, and you're going to look around, and you're going to say, I don't feel seen. I am by myself. Does anybody understand what I'm going through? And that's when I'm going to force your little pretty little head to look up to me and say, I understand. You need to bring this one to me. This ain't a time for your friends. This is a time for your God. Do y'all hear me in here? I was in my feelings. I don't feel seen. I don't feel seen, and nobody knows you understand what I'm carrying. God was like, Albert, get your life. I see you. I see you. Get your life. I see you. Get your life. I see you. Stop wreaking havoc. Cut off the yeah. Cut off. Turn. You had a good pity party. You had a good time. You have a good time. Okay, let's end this party and let's begin your deliverance. And the party ain't bad. I love every now and then. I don't do them often, but about twice a year, every 6 months, I will have a pity party and talk about how nobody cares and how I'm the only one and all of that. Well, to be honest, not twice a year, probably once a quarter. But they don't turn into a full party. I'll throw a full party like twice a year. I'll throw a little small cocktail gathering of a pity party probably 4 times of a year, and I just invite Ricky, and he had one too. So we have our own little cocktail parties together where we complain about how we're the only people seen and nobody understands, and we by ourselves. We don't even bother to invite our wives to those because they'll be like, half of this ain't even true, and we'd be like, we know, but it just feels so hard. Can I just, y'all? I'm just giving y'all the truth today. I'm pulling back the curtain to just let y'all know how it goes down. Because if Jesus was feeling it, then he gives me permission to feel it too. So y'all can act like y'all don't ever have them days. Y'all can act like y'all got it all together. Y'all just be confident and stuff. I'm just going to tell you, I will throw a pity party. I'll invite a couple of people every now and then, and we will just go in, just cry. Jesus, help me. Everybody ain't worth nothing. We don't want, we're just going. And nobody else? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll stay out here by myself. I'll stay out here and sit. Let me text Ricky. He'll come. He'll join me. Y'all know what I'm saying? But watch this. Jesus says it's not about them. It's about what I want to do in your life. And he gets a revelation and he comes back out to them and say, y'all still sleep? All right, get up. It's time for me to be delivered over to my betrayers. It's time for me to sacrificially walk into my assignment. Don't even know what this is about, but yes, I'll join. Oh, Ricky's in the building over here on Instagram. Doc, I was talking about throwing pity parties and how every now and then we'll throw pity parties and then we'll just invite each other because ain't nobody else gonna come because we don't feel seen and all this other kinds. It's pretty vulnerable space, Ricky. Pretty vulnerable space. Jesus offers up the sacrifice and says, friends, y'all don't get it, but that's okay. You're about to see me walk in my assignment, and that's what matters most in this moment. That's what matters most in this moment. Here's the deal, though. So you go from expectation with your friends, they don't show up, revelation with God. I didn't need them to show up for me to fulfill my assignment. But then low key, here's the third one, and we'll go home on this one. I got expectation, revelation, and then modulation. Y'all know I love to put a modulation in the phrase. Y'all know I love to use a modulation somewhere. Jesus tells Peter, yo, your flesh is weak. Your spirit is willing, your flesh is weak. And then he calls him out in the book of Luke and he says, yo, the enemy desires to sift you as wheat. He's saying low key, you're struggling. You're not being a good friend. And you need to move. And low key, the enemy is trying to take you out. So you need to move to high key. You need to modulate. You need to modulate how you rolling. Because Peter, while you were sleeping, you missed an opportunity to witness the power of the living God ministering to me, his son, and preparing me for the cross. And I invited you to be a part of that miraculous sight. But because you were operating low key in your flesh, you decided to sleep when you could have been high key modulated into the very presence of the power of an almighty God. You were asleep. I ain't mad about you being asleep. I ain't in my feelings about it, but I do need to give you a warning. You ought to modulate your walk because you missed an opportunity to be a blessing to me, the Son of God. Woo! I'm not saying your friends. I'm not saying we're the son. I'm not saying we Jesus and they did, but I'm just saying, yo, when I walk with my boy Ricky and he's going through something hard, when I stay awake, I get a front row seat of seeing God minister to him and restore him and to bring him to a place where God's wanted him to be. And that blesses me as if I was him. When my wife stays awake and she walks with me and she sees me hit that wall, and I wake up and I hear her praying in the spirit over there, cover me in prayer. And she won't let me walk out the door without putting a prayer on me. She gets a front row seat to see the restoration of God in my life. Now, I know he could barely say, he went to bed with tears last night, and I see him now preaching with joy. She gets to see the miraculous turn of God. Some of you friends, you sleeping instead of walking with your folk, and you're missing out on a blessing. You need to modulate your life. Stop living so low key in the flesh that you miss the high key of the presence of the Lord. You need a modulation. You need a modulation in your life. You should start. You need to modulate your friendships. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that Jesus did. I love it. He was in his feelings, but he didn't make a decision in his feelings. He didn't make a decision. He didn't make an emotional conclusion on Peter. He didn't be like, I'm done with this dude. I can't believe he did this. Stop making emotional decisions until you can get to the spiritual revelation. You don't make the emotional decision before you can get to the spiritual revelation, because in the spiritual revelation, you will see it wasn't even about them. It was about what God was doing in me. I ain't about to be mad at you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to invite you to modulate so you can experience high key what I just experienced. I'm going to come out of this ministering to you, not mad at you. Did you hear what I just said? I said, I'm coming out of this, not mad at you, but ministering to you. Some of you, your friends disappoint you. You get a revelation from God. God bless you, but you're still mad at your friend. How you going to walk in the blessing of the Lord and still be mad? You still got blessed. You still got what God wanted. And now you're going to come out of this. Yeah, but you will still sleep. They will sleep, but you got blessed. They missed the blessing, not you. Them not being present didn't take not one iota from what God wanted to do. So how you going to stand in the favor of God, get the revelation, get the breakthrough, get on the other side of it and still be mad? Come on. I'm not about to be mad with you. I'm too blessed to be mad. God did it in me. To be honest, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to minister to you and say, hey, you keep living low key. Your flesh is, your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak. You're missing blessings. God met me in the garden. God met me. And guess what? If you was with me when he met me, he would have met you too. You missed it. So let me minister to you and invite you, come on, walk with me so that you won't miss the blessing. Stay walk with me, friend. God is doing something in my life. God is doing something in my life. And hey, if he blessing my neighbor, that means he's blessing my neighborhood. Come on in here. If he in my neighbor's house, that means he's in my neighborhood. He's in my neighborhood. So I guess what I want to say is I go to my seat, release your friendships, release your friends from the times they didn't show up for you. Release your friends from the bondage and from being captive in your bitterness for the moments they missed. Because here's the deal. They missed the moment, but God still made the moment in your life. You can't be mad. You just cannot. You cannot be. You got reasons to be because you expect him to be there. Yeah, but you too blessed. Jesus didn't come out and say, yo, he's like, yo, let me go fulfill my assignment. I ain't mad at y'all. I'm going to commission you in a couple of days on the other side of this. But let me just give you this warning. You keep sleeping, you're going to miss God moving. So don't miss the moment. And don't get in your feelings. Let me tell you something. You can't stay in your feelings when you walking in his favor. I've heard from the Lord. I've got the favor of the Lord. Child, it would have been nice if I heard from you, but I didn't. But I heard from God. That's all I needed. Come on. Stop walking in your feelings. Start walking in his favor. Release your friends. Don't be mad. Be ministers. Walk in. Missed expectations will still bring you to revelation. And then you get to invite your friends to modulation. Your flesh is weak. but your spirit is willing. Come on and modulate high key to the presence of God. That's all I got, y'all. I can shout right now. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Bring your wine and your crackers, your juice and your crackers. We're gonna have communion tomorrow. We're gonna celebrate the sacrifice that Jesus Christ has made. Pick up your feelings. Come on, Evangelist Jasmine Sullivan. Pick up your feelings. Pick up your feelings and walk in the favor for His glory. Amen. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Woo, that was good. I was cutting up today. Lord,